Okay, y'all, so Cardi B just sat down for an interview with Kelly Rowland for Spotify. And let me tell you, she dropped some serious tea. Now, during the conversation, Cardi opened up about how she makes an effort to look out for the newer female rappers coming up in the industry. She said that whenever she sees one of them getting dragged online or dealing with a lot of backlash, she'll actually slide into their DMs to send words of encouragement and show support. Honestly, that's a really sweet and genuine thing to do, especially considering how competitive the rap game can get.
Coming up with some shit, and I feel like they kind of cool, and I feel like people be dragging them. I be sliding in their DMs like, it's like, hey, you know this temporary, this is a good and bad thing, but sometimes you gotta know who to do it with, because I have done that to bitches that done went and fucked my man and all that shit. So it's like, you gotta know who you being nice to, because it's like these bitches right here, you out there feeling sympathy for them and wishing them the best, and these bitches will beat you and fuck your nigga, then you ain't even realize them bitches. You out here like, damn, she look like a nice girl. I feel bad for her. Like, it's like, let me think that, bitch, you.
And honestly, at this point, it's like who hasn't Offset slept with? This man clearly has a problem. The way it's sounding, he's been with half the women in the industry, all while being married to Cardi. Now, Cardi didn't drop any names in that interview, but you already know the internet is working overtime, trying to connect the dots and figure out exactly who she was referring to. Now, I'm not going to sit here and speculate because I don't know for sure, but I'll admit I'm curious, and I know y'all are too. And to be real, this just highlights how messy the music industry can get. These artists are supposed to be supporting one another, especially the women. But situations like this just show how quickly trust can be broken. So, I completely understand why Cardi would feel like, you know what? I'm done helping y'all because y'all stabbed me in the back. But what do you think? Who do y'all believe Cardi might have been talking about? I have a few guesses in mind, but they're just guesses, so drop your thoughts in the comments. Now, while we're already talking about Cardi, let's switch gears to this highly anticipated album. Cardi B has been teasing her sophomore project, Am I the Drama, for what feels like forever. Her debut, Invasion of Privacy, dropped all the way back in 2018. So fans have been waiting over 6 years for new music. And according to Cardi, the wait is finally over because Am I the Drama is set to drop this Friday, September 19th. Now, if you've been following, you know this album has faced multiple delays. Earlier this year, Cardi even went live on Instagram, venting about how she was waiting on certain features. She explained how she loves and respects these artists, but that they were dragging their feet, holding up her release. Fast forward to just yesterday, Cardi hopped on Twitter Spaces and spilled even more tea. She revealed that a lot of artists underestimated her project. They didn't think her album was going to make an impact, so they backed out of doing features altogether. And that, right there, tells you everything about how people really view Cardi in this industry.
I'm gonna say this one time, and I'm gonna say everything because I don't know what the fuck. This album, just like a lot of people that don't like me underestimating this album, a lot of these artists are also underestimated this album too. I have gotten into calls. I have gotten out of my body because, you know, I'm very shy. I have hit people up. I have this and that. And people underestimating the impact, well, a lot of people have changed their mind these past couple of weeks. If people underestimated the impact and everything, I can't do nothing about it. One thing I don't do is I'm not gonna beg nobody. So for y'all to be like complaining and like these are a lot of these artists that have gotten in it on this album, I'm very thankful. I'm very grateful because you'll be very fucking surprised. So
let's get into these features. Because the lineup for Cardi B's upcoming album, Am I the Drama, has finally been revealed. The confirmed names include Cash Cobain, Jonna Jackson, Kanye, Lizzo, Megan Thee Stallion, Selena Gomez, Summer Walker, and Tala. Now, on paper, that's a solid list, but let's be honest. It does feel like Cardi had to dig a little deeper than expected to pull this roster together. The album is stacked with 23 tracks, and Yes Swappin' Up are both on there. Some fans had mixed opinions about including older hits on the project, but Cardi clearly wasn't bothered by the criticism. Now here's what I'm really wondering: who were the artists she originally wanted that turned her down? Because, look, the features she locked in are good, don't get me wrong. These are talented, respected artists in their own right. But it's not quite the superstar, headline-grabbing level you'd expect when a name like Cardi B drops a sophomore album. You know what I mean? That said, I do think this album has potential. It's not that it won't do well because Cardi is Cardi and she knows how to deliver hits. But is it going to reach the same level of success as her debut, Invasion of Privacy? That's where I'm not so sure. Let's be real, most artists' first albums are usually their biggest moments. And Cardi's debut went way beyond expectations. She had multiple tracks go diamond, the sales were insane. And it set the bar sky high for her career. So, can Am I the Drama reach that same level? Honestly, I don't think it's going to break those same records. But will it still be successful? Absolutely. That's just my take, though. What about y'all? Do you think Cardi's new album will flop, hold its own, or surpass her first? Drop your opinions in the comments. I really want to see what y'all are thinking about this one. But okay, moving on to the next story, y'all. Let me tell you what went down this past weekend because the internet is absolutely losing its mind over this one. So, Beyoncé and Jay-Z showed up at Jay-Z's big charity event, the Reform Alliance Casino Night and Gala. Now, this was in Atlantic City, and Jay-Z was one of the main hosts. And listen, the event itself was a huge success. They raised a whopping $20 million for criminal justice reform, which is incredible, but of course, that's not what people are talking about. The real drama kicked off when folks saw who was sitting at the table with Beyoncé and Jay-Z. And y'all, it was none other than Ivanka Trump and her husband, Jared Kushner. Yes, Donald Trump's daughter and her slick, straight-faced husband. So, pictures from the event started circulating online, and one in particular had everybody's jaw on the floor. In it, Beyoncé is sitting in this stunning bronze dress, smiling across the table, and right there, across from her, is Ivanka Trump. As soon as that photo hit the internet, social media went wild. And let's be real here, part of the reason people are so heated is because Beyoncé has been publicly and very vocally supportive of Democrats for years. Just last election cycle, she was out on stage in Houston campaigning for Kamala Harris. She even spoke at rallies showing her support. Beyoncé has always positioned herself as being on the side of progress, black excellence, and democratic values. So for people to now see her looking all friendly and comfortable at a table with the Trump family, it just didn't sit right. Now, some defenders are saying, oh, well, maybe they weren't actually sitting together. Maybe it just looked that way in the photo. But when you really zoom in, it's very clear they were absolutely at the same table. No denying it. And here's where it gets even messier. In that same photo, you might notice someone else sitting at the table, Desiree Perez. Now, if you don't know, she's the CEO of Jay-Z's Roc Nation, one of his most trusted business partners. But here's the twist: Donald Trump pardoned Desiree Perez in 2021 during his final days in office. Now, let me give you the quick backstory. Way back in 1994, Desiree was arrested on drug charges. She cooperated with the feds, got probation, but then violated parole and ended up serving 9 months in prison in 1999. Fast forward to decades later, and Trump decides to grant her a pardon before leaving office. And boom, her record is clear. So now people are putting two and two together. Like, okay, Desiree was pardoned by Trump. She's sitting right next to Jared Kushner. And Beyoncé and Jay-Z are also at the table. People can't help but wonder, are there deeper connections behind the scenes? Is this more than just a random seating arrangement at a charity gala? Because let's face it, this isn't a small dinner party. This is Jay-Z's own charity event. That means, at some level, he and Beyoncé had some say in who sat where, which makes it look less like coincidence and more like intentional placement. And that's why people are questioning it so hard not to make matters worse. The timing of all this couldn't be any messier. Trump just won the election over Kamala Harris, the same Kamala that Beyoncé was championing not too long ago. People are still raw and emotional about that loss. So seeing Beyoncé and Jay-Z smiling at a table with the Trump family feels, to a lot of fans, like a betrayal. Like their faves are cozying up to the very people their community feels most harmed by. Now, I'll be real with y'all, sitting at the same table at a charity event doesn't necessarily mean you're best friends. It could have been nothing more than politeness. But the optics look bad. Especially when you consider the history with Desiree's pardon. So now the big questions are these: was Beyoncé just being cordial because she had no choice? Or is there some sort of behind-the-scenes loyalty happening because of Desiree Perez's pardon? And if Jay-Z has ties through business and loyalty, is Beyoncé automatically tangled up in that just by being his wife? At the end of the day, the internet is split. Some fans are giving Beyoncé grace, saying she was just there supporting her husband's event. Others feel like this was way too friendly of a move, especially with how political and divisive the Trump family is right now. But I want to hear from y'all. What do you think? Was this an innocent charity photo op that people are blowing out of proportion? Or do you think Beyoncé and Jay-Z might actually be playing politics behind the scenes? Especially considering Desiree Perez's connection to Trump. Because one thing's for sure, the timing, the company, and the history all make this situation look a whole lot messier than Beyoncé probably intended.
Fans are not happy with Beyoncé after she sat with Ivanka Trump in Atlantic City. People have been saying it's always guilty by association until it's their fave. A user here said, "Weird how Beyoncé fans attack Taylor Swift for being guilty by association, but now are silent when it comes to Beyoncé." People even brought up the fact that Beyoncé was supporting the Buffalo Soldiers by wearing their shirts, and you can read the text here. A lot of fans are very upset because they said that Beyoncé campaigned for Kamala Harris, for a while.
It is astonishing to see how many of you guys actually do not have a backbone. And yes, I'm talking to you, the person who cannot let go of their parasocial relationship with these celebrities. Beyoncé was seen sitting at a table with Ivanka Trump and the Kushners, right? And you still have the Beehive or people just trying to make sense of why is she at the table? Why is she interacting with these people? Why is she Beyoncé the billionaire? I love Beyoncé down, but guys, these are still capitalists. They are billionaires. This is the same Beyoncé who knows how many people are economically struggling and is releasing sacred after tour after everything. Beehive and Taylor Swift fans are the exact same because y'all are mooching up to the butts of these celebrities who do not give one single fuck about you. Not to mention that they have zero backbone themselves. They don't speak up to anything. Beyoncé has so much money. Jay-Z has so much money. All these people have so much money, yet they don't use it in ways that could actually benefit society. And this is one of the reasons why I struggle to even be friends with most people, because y'all just don't have anything. You don't stand for anything. You don't stand for anything, so you fall for everything. Why are you trying to rationalize why Beyoncé is sitting with these people? She's one of them. It is not like race against race. It's literally money against poor. That's what it is. Obviously, there are races on top of it, but money can save you from a lot of things, especially when you are a billionaire. You are no longer part of the oppressed class. I'm sorry, you're not. In theory, yes, you are. But Beyoncé does not, You guys, we have to do better. But honestly, I've lost all hope. I think that there is no waking up from this nightmare.